Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to do some grading, a little bit of dirt work, and I want to introduce you to my friend Carson from the Thrifty Garage. So you want to tell him what you do?
Yeah, we do, aside from YouTube, we do landscape construction. So we've got this big landscape project behind us. We did the sprinkler install here, and Brock's can come out and help us run the soil conditioner and get some of these rocks off the surface, finish our rough grading so we can move into the fine grading stage and put down some topsoil.
Let's jump in the machine and do some grading.
There's no way we're going to get all of the rocks out of this area, but they want to get as many as they can so that when the topsoil is brought in, they can have a nice base to put it on.
I don't have a lot of hours using this. Normally when I do, I'm trying to pulverize and I'm going like 4 or 6 inches deep. And I think here, we're just trying to kick the rocks off the top. Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, we want to get the big rocks out of here.
You want to give the machine a try?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. If you want to jump in, I'll show you the controls. Go ahead and fire it up.
Password?
No.
Just push it, go.
Yep. And then just turn the parking brake off. Now, the actual control, your thumb wheel spins the wheel. You want to lift it up. Going up, you're still on the ground. Okay. Now, this will spin either way. And I have to sit there and look at it to see which way it's going to kick rocks.
How do you hold it?
Huh?
How do you hold it?
So what I do is the button bottom left corner on the other joystick, you go to max RPM in the direction you want, then push that button and it will lock it in. Okay. And then I turn the throttle all the way up here instead of controlling it with my foot, because I think you want it at full throttle all the time. And then I will hit the creeper mode down here, and then that controls your machine speed to like, I'll do like 50% or something. And then it's just a matter of getting the angle right. Okay. So, does that all make sense?
Yep.
All right. Say give her heck.
I explained all that like he'd never ran anything like this before. Turns out Carson has a preparator that operates almost the same way, and he's ran it a lot, so he pretty much already knew what he was doing. In case of any of you watching aren't familiar with how a Harley Rake works, as it digs up this top layer, it kicks the rocks forward and kind of piles them up in front of the rake. And as the pile gets bigger, you start to let the finer material back over the top. So what you see water falling over is more your clean material that's supposed to stay, and in theory you're pushing a pile of pure rock.
Dropping, it leaves some smaller rock, but I mean that's moving a pretty good percentage.
So usually that's what I do, where like the fluffy stuff kind of comes back over the backside.
Yeah.
This definitely has more like gravel and stuff in it though. But like I said, we'll bring in 2 inches of topsoil on top of it. So we really want like the 3 and 4 inch rock.
Good deal.
Now he's reversed the direction that the Harley Rake turns and is using it to pull the rock back away from this good sod so he can push it back down the other direction without driving up onto the sod. This is the kind of area that this tool is working perfectly on. When we take it down by the pond later, it's not quite as ideal for that.
All right, so what do you think of it?
Well, I only know what I've run, so I've run the Bobcat T650 with the Bobcat soil conditioner. Power-wise, holy smokes! I don't know how this compares. How many horsepower is this?
74.
Okay, so same size machine. I think the wide tracks on the 650 is a little bit wider, but this thing's equally as powerful, if not more. Visibility is not as good as the Bobcat, so looking out back, there's not a lot. And it's harder to see the tines on this as far as what's kicking forward. And this is a little bit different. You know, there's a million different options for soil conditioners. I mean, like your first pass, you kind of just skimmed off the first couple things. In the past, when I've run it, I always let the extra dirt kind of roll back around, but that seems to be leaving some like 3/4 inch rock behind. So I don't know if it's a bad idea to do a hard pass and then even do like a soft pass and just kick off those extra little rocks.
I've always dug in 4 inches or something, and today I thought he just wants to skim rock. I've never just tried to push rock off. I was also leveling at the same time.
Yeah, it looks super clean with your pass that you made.
This is a little bit soft up here, isn't it? I think it's probably all right.
I think it's all right. Most of this property is pretty well graded, so the water doesn't stay on it for long.
Okay, I let him have his fun. Now I'm gonna run it a little bit. We were just talking if we angle the cutter a little bit, we can get rid of these windrows.
So we're going parallel with the lawn, and now we probably need to change directions a little bit. So we're kind of starting the bottom of the swell, kind of follow because the swell's a little bit at an angle. Maybe go back up the hill until you match up.
Okay.
And it's a gentle enough swell. I mean, you'd probably be okay either way, but that way it'll kind of just help the water keep going.
Okay, so just run more diagonal this way instead of straight across it.
Yep.
What are you working on right now?
Putting in some valve boxes. So these are isolation valves for the sprinkler system. So we can turn off both of these, isolate valve boxes and be able to maintain them, or we can turn off water and prevent the water from going down further. This main line also feeds some frost-free hydrants, so being able to turn this off and they'll still use the winters. Pretty nice.
So most of this is like 2-inch pipe, or?
This is all 1.5 inches.
1.5 inches. All right, well, I guess I'll get back to leveling out the dirt.
So once again, the plan here is to try to remove as much rock as we can, because this whole area down by the pond is getting topsoil as well. But unfortunately, it was a little bit more problematic down here because of the soil type. This is about 80% rock with 20% dirt mixed in. So I spent about an hour doing what you see me do right now, which is pushing rock from one end down to the other, then driving back down to that end and pushing more rock this way. Every so often, Carson would get the tractor and scoop up the rock piles. After about an hour of this, I stopped and we talked about it, and basically, underneath this rock is just more rock. And I could have done this the entire day and still not gotten rid of all the rock. So it's basically going to come down to, he's going to try using a landscape rake or a rock bucket to try to move off what rock got pulled up to the surface without just continually pulling more rock up. All right, so what are your thoughts on that Harley rake for a job like this? It kind of feels like the right tool, but it's not going to finish this.
For me, it's always a two-step situation. So the Harley rake's the first step, and then the second step would be a finishing tool like a landscape rake or a soil preparator.
This is just like rock on top of rock, and I pushed a lot of rock out, and it left us with a lot of rock. But it pulverizes and it brings the rock up and loosens it, and he's going to try using a rock bucket as the next step. Up here, I think it worked better because the percentage of rock was better. But before we sign this off, I'll tell them again the name of your channel and what kind of equipment you run and the main types of content you make.
Yeah, so our channel is Thrifty Garage, and we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. So a little bit of everything, house stuff, garage stuff, and then also we've incorporated some of our landscape business items in there. We've got a Bobcat E35 excavator on the channel, as well as a Bobcat T650 skid steer, and we've got several videos out on that and sharing different DIY projects as well as professional landscape projects.
Yeah, the first things I watched them doing was with the machines and setting some stone, but I think your most popular content is like fixing cracked concrete and stuff.
Yep.
So like I was saying, go check out Thrifty Garage. I think he's going to end up helping us finish the pond since he's got the mini excavator. And I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.